your family. It is a family visa. And Eugene, the good thing about this visa 491 is that it has a pathway to permanent resident. So once you are in Australia for 3 years, you are qualified for another permanent resident that is called visa 191. So you're not going to be stranded.
Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. If you're looking to relocate to Australia, either as a student or with a job, or even with your family, then you're watching the right video. Because in this video, I have a guest with me who is going to share with you easy and important pathways to move to Australia. If this sounds interesting to you, then do it to hit the like button, subscribe to be part of this family. This is the homeland of international opportunities. Drop a comment to let me know where you're watching from and which of these pathways interests you. And let's get right into the video. Hey Jane, it's nice to have you in our channel today, and I believe the audience they are really eager to get the full gist, and we are going to go right into it. But first of all, we want to get to know you. Kindly introduce yourself.
Hello. Hi. Thank you, Eugene, for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Jane, and I live in Australia. I've lived in Australia for a very long time now. And I have a YouTube channel, Jane Kenny's Creation, where we share information about Australia and migration to Australia, the pathways, okay? And I just want to tell you today, what do you actually know about Australia? Australia is a very beautiful country, okay? And one good thing about Australia is that it is a home far away from home. I always have passion when I talk about Australia. You know, people say it's far, but it's actually a home. And most importantly, it is a country that if you ever come in, you will walk and walk and walk. There is always job opportunities.
Okay, that sounds really interesting, and we can't wait to get the 4 pathways that can move us to Australia, because a lot of persons don't really know about these opportunities, and I believe they are really going to benefit from what we are going to discuss today. So without wasting time, I'll leave the floor to you so you can get it rolling.
All right. So these 4 pathways we are going to share today is actually very clear step. It has a very clear step, okay? The process is very clear. Even online, you can easily get the information from the immigration website, which Eugene is going to share on the description section of this video as well, okay? So number 1 we are talking today is visa sponsorship, okay? Work sponsorship. So this is the part of visa where we say this is for free. It's not like the visa is for free. However, someone is going to pay for your visa. You know who that person is, the employer, okay? So this visa, one thing with Australia is that all their visas, they give it a code. So we are talking about visa 482, okay? It is a skill shortage visa. It is a new visa that was introduced post-COVID to bridge the gap of skill shortage in Australia. Is huge, okay? So in this very pathway, all you need to do is go find yourself a job. When you find a job, the employer will bring you over. The employer will foot the bill, okay? It is happening. The other day, I shared a video where a family, someone that is a mechanic from Africa, just landed in Western Australia, in my own state, okay, with visa 482. All you need to do is go find a job in Australia website, job website like seek.com, jora.com, indeed.com, and so on. All right. So this is authentic pathway, and it is the easiest and the cheapest. Most time you don't pay anything. Someone pays it. Okay. That first pathway, it can be any job. It can be a mechanic, a plumber, electrician, an engineer, both skilled and semi-skilled. So it's not only for doctors and nurses. No. Okay. Now let's move to the second pathway. Okay. So number 2 is student visa. Eugene, many people from Asia, Africa are actually hitting Australian study visa these days.
Yeah.
People used to say it's very hard, but I tell people, give them what they want. They give you what you want, okay? So when you talk about Australia student visa, you are allowed to come with your family. Your family could be your spouse, your partner. It could be that you guys are married or you are in a de facto relationship. You can prove that this person is actually your partner, even though there is no formal marriage, okay? Then it can be your kids, your children. So that's what they mean by family. However, you have to have enough money to show that you can cater for them. You guys are going to live in Australia without any problem with the money you have.
How much is this for fun?
I'm going to talk about it in Australian dollars, okay? But I have a video that is coming today to explain this because there have been a lot of questions. So it's not something that is clear cut. So you're going to have enough money to cover your first year school fees, your feeding for 12 months, and your flight ticket to and from your country, because it's assumed that after studies you are coming back. However, you are not going anywhere. Okay? So, but you're going to prove this. All right? So, it's money. And even I don't want to go into it because I have a comprehensive video to explain, because they need to convert it to their local currency once they catch it in Australian dollars. So they'll be able to convert it. Okay. So another thing about student visa is this. There is something that is called GTE, genuine temporary entrant. That is why many people, visas are being refused. Okay. So it is assumed, the visa officer that is going to take your visa application is being employed to do the right thing. Okay. So there are something they are looking for in your application. You need to prove to them that you are coming to study and go back. Okay. How do you prove that? What do you have in your home country? Or rather, the country you are coming from. Okay. They want to check your ties. Do you have enough ties that will take you back? Depending on what you write there. Okay. That's the thing. Then, boom. Once you are in Australia as an international student, there is no going back. You can never get frustrated. The good thing is that some states in Australia actually have a pathway they created for their new graduates, their international graduates from their states. Like they give you visa, temporary visa after graduation, even with no work experience. Okay. And they also have the permanent resident pathway. Okay. So one thing with Australian visa is that once you get visa A, there is a clear pathway for you to go to visa B. So that's how it is clear.
For the student visa, I think we should make it clear that you have to apply for admission. You have to be admitted into an Australian university before you apply for a student visa. And even those that have gotten a scholarship, you still need to apply for a visa. So this is just like a student route for you to come into Australia.
Yeah. And another thing I want to add there is that fortunately and unfortunately, you must go through an agent. That is how it is these days. Yeah. Previously, people used to go online and get admission. But now, most Australian universities cannot give people from developing countries and so on because of experience. So they tend to go through an agent from your home country. Okay. So these agents are listed in the school website. It's easy to find. Once you go to the international student page, okay, you go there and they will ask you which country are you coming from or you've studied previously. Once you tell them, they will give you a list of agents that you can go through.
Yeah, I think that is one of the major problems most of my subscribers have had, having to apply through an agent instead of just going to the application portal to apply for admission. So I don't know if it's a good idea for Australia, but I think it's actually maybe a little bit of problem. And do you have any information? These agents, do they charge the students?
Yes, they do actually. So even up today, even Australian government, there was a press release yesterday from the parliament that those student agents, the education agents, are actually charging a lot, though they get big money from school. The school actually pay them.
Okay, let's go to the next pathway and see what it is.
The third pathway is temporary resident visa. You do not need to get a job to hit it running, okay? All you need to know is that your occupation is in the list of skilled occupation for Australian migration, okay? Eugene, I will also send you the link so you can share on the description section, okay? For example, let me keep using this mechanic. I think I like mechanics now because they're getting a lot of visas. Okay. So let's assume that I'm a mechanic and I did my mechanic in Nigeria. Okay. It is not enough that I'm a mechanic. I must have at least, because for mechanic, they don't need you to have a degree. That's why when people say to me, I have HND, can I do my this? I said, yes. There are occupations actually that need you to have only diploma or certificates. And if you have HND for that, yes, you are good to go. Okay? For mechanic, you're supposed to have a trade certificate. Okay? Some people in most African countries keep saying there is nothing like trade certificate. Eugene, I just found out yesterday there are so many technical schools in Africa, even in Nigeria, and they award trade certificates. Okay, all you need to do is to go and grab it, because there is something.
You grab it. Do you apply for admission into a technical school together?
Technical school, yes, and I know they do recognition of prior learning. Like someone has actually said that if you already study, like if you're a carpenter and you already study, you've done carpentry for a very long time, and you can work with the school for the school to recognize your skill and maybe cut the training, the duration of the training or something. I'm not very sure. Okay, but for technical schools, you, of course, it's a school, you need to apply. Okay, now let's assume you are an engineer. Okay, let's use an engineer or an accountant. Okay, you have your qualification. And when you open the list of skill occupation, you find that accountants are needed in Australia because it's in that list. Okay, you tick it. So when you find that list, there's something that is called skill assessment, assessing authority. Okay, so it means that the authority that will assess your skill and your experience and say that, okay, it meets Australia standard. And I tell people, you don't need to be scared of skill assessment now. Most of them are not writing exams, okay? They are not writing exams. All you need to do is to supply your qualification and experience. And they have a guideline. They give you a guideline how you are going to supply this information to them, how you're supposed to prepare your document. There is fee to pay. And it's not one, what do you say? When people ask me how much is skill assessment, I said, no, it depends on your occupation. What assessing authority will charge an accountant is different from the assessing authority of a mechanic. So they have their fees, it's different. So all you need to do is go and assess your skill. Before you do your skill assessment, find out, do they need English? If your assessing authority need English, you need to write it. So you need to find out, do they want general or academic? Okay, then you write it and do your skill assessment. However, you need to find out, is there any state in Australia that has your occupation in their list? This thing is online, okay? You can go to Western Australia immigration website, skill occupation list, Tasmania skill occupation list, Victoria, New South Wales, and so Queensland and so on, okay? Once you see your occupation there, you are good to go. Do your skill assessment, you go back and express your interest. A state will pick you up and ask you to apply for visa. Voila, you are in Australia. This is a 5 years visa, and this visa is called visa 491. Just like they all have code 491. Okay, so I am only talking about the visa that will allow someone that is from outside to come in. I don't want to talk about for someone that is already here. That's why I'm mentioning these visas. Okay, so they give you opportunity, though you do not have a job in Australia, though you do not study in Australia. However, go and assess your qualification, your skill, your experience. Let's match it with Australia standard and you are good to go. Okay?
So this sounds really interesting. This visa sounds really interesting. Maybe you should give us a quick outline of what you need to do. Okay.
Step one, good. For visa 491, the process is this. Step one, you check the federal occupation list. We will share the link.
Yeah.
You find your occupation as a mechanic. You find out what actually does Australia call a mechanic, because they will explain it when you click that occupation. They will tell you the qualification they need and everything. Fine, that's step one.
But not just a mechanic, it can be any occupation.
It can be any occupation. Good. You click it, you find a skill set and qualification they need for that. You tick it good. Okay. The next thing you do, because you need to make sure there will be a state to say they need you. Go check immigration website of Australian states and territories. Okay. If you find that there is other ones that need a mechanic, you say, good, I am good to go. Okay. Because when I finish my skill assessment, I would express my interest and ask this state to nominate me. So you choose them as number one, because there will be option for you to choose a state that you want to nominate you. Okay. So now let's assume that I find that Victoria needs my skill, my occupation, which is mechanic. I will say, good, this is step 2 we are talking about. I will say, okay, Victoria needs me. I will say, check Tasmania. Okay, they have mechanic. Okay, good to go. South Australia, they have mechanic. Good to go. Western Australia, they have mechanic. Good to go. Okay, I'm good to go. At least 4. Okay, but 1 is enough. Okay. However, some people like to do a lot of expression of interest, and whichever clicks, they go for it.
Yeah.
This now, step 3 is this. You go back to that place you find your occupation in the federal occupation list. You will see a column where they said assessing authority. Find your assessing authority. It is just beside your occupation. Click that link. That is your step 3. Click that link. Go and do your skill assessment. Okay? When you click that link, it will take you to the website of the assessing authority. That is where you get all the information you need. You do not need an agent to do Australian visa, except student visa. Every other visa, you can sit down, study it, and you apply. And they will tell you that even if you are using an agent, it's not going to change anything. Okay? So you do your skill assessment. Give them what they want, exactly how they want you to provide it. They will give you a positive skill assessment. However, if you do not get a positive skill assessment, they will tell you why. They will give you a reason and ask you to appeal, or you go and review and apply again. They must give you a reason. So this is one is not like they don't want to pass me or they don't want to do this. No, they will tell you exactly why, and they will ask you to appeal. It's in black and white, okay? And most of the occupations, they do not need you to write an exam. The people that actually need you to write exam are like nurses, doctors, pharmacists, those big ones. Yeah. Yes, you see, sometimes I tell people, don't even go there. Just grab the one you have. The lower one, if it will get you there easier than the whatever you think, okay? Yeah. So this is step 3. Now, step 4 is this. I have my positive skill assessment. I am good to go. So I will go back to those states again and check that they still have my occupation. And for goodness sake, you need to do some research, like which state do I go for? Now I have 4 options, 4 states, okay? Maybe do a little bit of research and say which state is actually inviting people more, Yeah. Like someone was telling me that is now in the stage of doing research, finding a state that invite people more so that you know where to place his first option, okay? So these are the things. And the trick people do now is that they create different emails, create different profile, and they nominate all about 2 or 3 states. So whichever first state that calls them in, they go for it and they withdraw others. Okay? So because you do not need money to do expression of interest. It's just like telling them, I have this qualification, I have this, I have English, I have this experience, my age is this and that. You do not need to supply any documents. So once they go through it, and you have to have your skill assessment, and in your skill assessment, they will tell you how many years experience you have. So this is what you are going to be claiming, okay? Then the state will say, okay, you have these big points. We need you. Step 4, create your profile in Australia immigration website and do your expression of interest and nominate a state. Then you wait, okay? Then step 5, the state finds you and said, okay, we need you. Okay, Jane, supply your document. It is called pre-invite. Okay. So once you supply all those documents you claim, they will say, okay, we are good to go. Go and apply for visa. And once you apply for visa, it's just a matter of weeks. So
Wow.
apply for visa is step 5. Once you hit it, you just wait for weeks. You are
find
good.
yourself in Australia.
Yes, and you come with your family. It is a family visa. So you can come with your family. And Eugene, the good thing about this visa 491 is that it has a pathway to permanent resident. So once you are in Australia for 3 years, you are qualified for another permanent resident that is called visa 191. So you're not going to be stranded.
Wow, sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
So guys, that will be it for this video, and the final pathway to move to Australia will be on a new video, so watch out for that video. If you're not subscribed, hit on the subscribe button so that you do not miss the final pathway. The final pathway is a pathway that will enable you move to Australia as a permanent resident, so you don't want to miss that. For now, you can check out other opportunities on my YouTube channel. There are a lot of opportunities to study in Canada, in the UK, and even in Australia. Click on the video showing on the screen, and I will see you in that video. Bye.